Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Ramo Rajamanis Sada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Bhaje Ramena Bihata Nishacharachamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha. Ramannasti Parayanam Parataram Ramasya Dasosmyaham Rame Chittalaya Sada Bhavatu Me Bho Rama Mamuddhara Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidwaram Sadgurum Brahma Vidwaram. Rama Rama Sita Rama Ramachandra Pahi Mam. Rama Rama Sita Rama Ramachandra Pahi Mam. Rama Krishna Govinda Hare Pahi Mam. Rama Krishna Govinda Hare Pahi Mam. Krishna Krishna Govinda Vasudeva Pahi Mam. Krishna Krishna Govinda Vasudeva Pahi Mam. Rama Krishna Govinda Hare Pahi Mam. Rama Krishna Govinda Hare Pahi Mam. Hara Hara Gangadhara Neelakantha Pahi Mam. Hara Hara Gangadhara Neelakantha Pahi Mam. Rama Krishna Govinda Hare Pahi Mam. Rama Krishna Govinda Hare Pahi Mam. Rama Rama Sita Rama Ramachandra Pahi Mam. Rama Rama Sita Rama Ramachandra Pahi Mam. Rama Krishna Govinda Hare Pahi Mam. Rama Krishna Govinda Hare Pahi Mam. Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai. Hari Om everyone. In the last session, we had seen the Pandava and the Kaurava army, which is there in the battlefield right now, and Dhritarashtra asking the question to Sanjaya. And before the war is going to begin, it seems as though there is some kind of uncertainty in the mind of Duryodhana. Because it is said, wherever there is adharma in the heart, that mind or that heart can never be at peace. Externally, there might seem so many resources to be around, but yet inside, that heart will be very hollow, very afraid of what is going to be the consequence next. That was a condition of Duryodhana. He had the greatest of the warriors on his side in the Kaurava army. But before the war begins, he goes to Dronacharya and tells him, let me remind you about the army which is there on the other side. And he reminds him, this is the same army which is arranged by Drishtadyumna, whom you had taught. You didn't pay attention to what could be the consequence of teaching Drishtadyumna at that time. Now you have to pay the result. We all have to pay the result of that. So with that statement, Duryodhana, has finished his whatever he has to say to Dronacharya. Now Dronacharya, as though is asking him, if you feel that the persons who are there in the opposite side of the army, if they are so powerful, why don't you go and make some kind of sandhi with them? Just want to make sure there is. Okay. So why don't you go and make sandhi with them? Sandhi means a treaty. So then Duryodhana says, well, my purpose was not to tell you that I'm afraid. I just wanted to remind you. Now let me remind you of how great warriors, they are on our side also. It's not only that Pandava army has great warriors, our army also has some very good warriors. So then he goes on to describe the Kaurava army. So we will chant 7, 8 and 9 together. First chapter. I hope everyone has the book. It's helpful if you look at the words as we are going through the verses. Although first chapter, it's not as significant in terms of word by word. Later chapters, it will become more helpful if we can do it that way. Asmakam tu vishishtaye, asmakam tu vishishtaye, tan nibodhadvijottama, tan nibodhadvijottama, nayaka mama sainyasya, nayaka mama sainyasya, sanyartham tan bravimite, sanyartham tan bravimite, bhavan bhishmascha karnascha, bhavan bhishmascha karnascha, krupascha samitinjayah, krupascha samitinjayah, ashvathama vikarnascha, ashvathama vikarnascha, saumadattistathaivacha, saumadattistathaivacha, अन्ये च बहवः शूराः, अन्ये च बहवः शूराः, मदर्थे त्यक्तजीविताः, मदर्थे त्यक्तजीविताः, नानाशस्त्रप्रहरणाः, नानाशस्त्रप्रहरणाः, सर्वे युद्धविशारदाः, सर्वे युद्धविशारदाः, अस्माकं तु विशिष्टाये तान्निबोधद्विजोत्तमा, नायका मम सैन्यस्य सन्न्यार्थं तान् ब्रवीमि ते, भवान् भीष्मश्च कर्णश्च कृपश्च समितिञ्जयः, अश्वत्थामा विकर्णश्च सौमदत्तिस्तथैव च, अन्ये च बहवः शूराः मदर्थे त्यक्तजीविताः, नानाशस्त्रप्रहरणाः, सर्वे युद्धविशारदाः. So now Duryodhana is telling Dronacharya, Asmakam tu vishishtaye tanni bodha dvijottama. Dvijottama, best among the twice born, means Brahmanas. So he is addressing Dronacharya as Dvijottama and saying that Asmakam tu vishishtaye. In our army also, there are some great warriors. I will just remind you so that you are just reminded of who all are there behind you. In front of you, Pashya, see in front of you. But those who are with us, I will just remind you. So many powerful of them are on our side. Nayaka mama sainyasya sanyartham tan bravimite. The leaders, the warriors on our side, I will just indicate with few names. Sanyartham means just indicating. I don't have to elaborately say how powerful they are and everything. Now here again, in the first line, he starts saying, Asmakam, means in our army there are great warriors. In second line, he says, Nayaka mama sainyasya, leaders of my army. Means it is said, pretentiousness cannot hide itself for too long. So although one side of Duryodhana is saying that this is Dronacharya who is standing and he is the most, the key warrior on our side. So I should make sure I don't disappoint him. So first line he said, our army. But by the time he completes that flow of thought, what is there in his heart comes out. He says, Nayaka mama sainyasya. So this, it said this inconsistency in, his speech shows that kind of fear which is there in his heart. Now he uses a very diplomatic way of speaking to Dronacharya. Remember, on the first day of the war, commander-in-chief of the Kaurava army is Bhishma, not Dronacharya. But while counting the great warriors on the side of Kaurava army, he takes the name of Dronacharya first, showing that you are the greatest one in our side. So he says Bhavan and Bhishmascha. Actually speaking, these two were sufficient for the entire Pandava army. Bhishma and Drona. Imagine they are fighting, Pandavas are fighting against an army which has the commander who has a boon of Ichha Mrityu. Means he can choose at what time he wants to leave the body. In Mahabharata war, Bhishma was not killed. He was only made to fall on a bed of arrows by Arjuna. Arjuna means Shikhandi and Arjuna both. But the important point is, such was the warrior Bhishma, on the side of Kauravas, who can choose when he wants to leave the body. Invincible. All of this we should connect back to Kaivartaka Keshava, what we saw in Gita Dhyanam. How did Bhagwan help Pandavas win in spite of such great warriors on the other side? After taking the names of these two warriors, next in line is Krupacharya, because he is the teacher of Pandavas and Kauravas, right? So first is Drona, then Bhishma, third should be Krupacharya. But Duryodhana's faith is utmost in Karna. So he says Bhavan Bhishmascha, he can't help, then he says Karnascha. Means all great warriors, including Karna. He was also very powerful. And then Krupacharya, who is given the adjective Samitinjayaha, means he is ever victorious. Such is Krupacharya, very skilled. Next, who all are there? He says Ashwathama, son of Dronacharya. Vikarnascha. Vikarna was somebody who was a dharmatma. Means he was a good person and he followed dharma. He was the only one who stood up in the court when Draupadi was getting humiliated. But he spoke, but he did not switch his side. Means he did not leave the side of Duryodhana. He used to speak up whenever, things were not happening the way it should be in dharma, but he would not do anything to change his side. There was another brother, Vikarna was brother of Duryodhana. There was another brother whose name was Yuyutsu. He not only spoke up, but he changed his side. He said, I don't want to be on the side of Adharma. I will come on Yudhishthira's side. This was, one of the things in war. Before the war began, they used to make an announcement that this war is for dharma. If any warrior on either side feels that they have to switch their side, they are allowed to do before the war starts. So Yuyutsu was somebody who switched, but Vikarna stayed on the side of Duryodhana. It's very interesting if you draw a parallel in Ramayana also. So it is said Kumbhakarna used to speak up whenever Ravana used to come and say things which are not appropriate, especially when he wakes him up. Kumbhakarna, he wakes and says, we have brought Sitaji, now Bhagwan Rama has come and you have to get ready to fight with Rama. Kumbhakarna criticizes Ravana. He says, what are you thinking? You will go and attack Bhagwan Rama, who is the lord of this entire universe. But the moment Ravana brings Kumbhakarna's weakness, all his knowledge is taken for a ride. But on the other side, Vibhishana, he spoke. He spoke up whenever Ravana was having some kind of erroneous ideas and doing some things, But he didn't stop at that. He left the party of Adharma. He went on the other side and said, Bhagwan, I am here to surrender unto you. So that is this character of Vikarna and Yuyutsu. Those were the two people. But Duryodhana is taking the name of Vikarna over here. And he says there is Saumadattischa. Saumadattischa means Bhurishrava. He was also a great warrior. All these names you just hear, because we don't know when we will get to listen to all these Mahabharata names again. Once we enter into second chapter, none of these characters are going to come back. Actually speaking, these characters don't have any direct connection with Bhagavad Gita. But as I mentioned last time, Mahabharata sets a very good background for Bhagavad Gita. Lot of lessons that Bhagwan is showing us, Daivi Sampatti, Asuri Sampatti, in 16th chapter, lot of those qualities we can see right now in Duryodhana, in Yudhishthira. That is why we are going through these names. The 9th verse he says, are there only these many? You just named 6 or 7 of them. Are these the only warriors on your side? Duryodhana says, no, there are many. Anyecha bahava shuraha. There are so many. There is Jayadratha, there is, Bhagadatta is there, Shalya is there. All of these are great, great warriors. They are on our side only. I'm just reminding you, O Dronacharya. But then he says one line which shows the mindset of Duryodhana. Madarthe tyakta jivitaha. He says, all these warriors have come to lay down their lives for my sake. Means he is fighting this war not for the sake of dharma, but for his sake. Mindset of Arjuna is, these warriors have come to fight for dharma. And this you should see later in the war. The setup of the war is such that if a warrior has to go and challenge the opposite side, right? The chief of the army or the king decides who goes and attacks which warrior. The way in which Yudhishthira speaks to his subordinates, even when he's speaking to Nakula, Sahadeva, Satyaki, all are much more, at a different level in the war. Like how you have generals, majors, and soldiers, different, titles that they're given. So these are many people who are much lower in their ranks, but Yudhishthira, the way he speaks with them, so much respect he gives. On the other side, when Dronacharya is not able to kill any of the Pandavas, Duryodhana goes and taunts Dronacharya. He says, you are their teacher and this is the 10th day of the war, still you can't do anything. Bhishma also he goes and taunts on the 8th day, 9th day of the war. So those are the sampatti, how do we speak to people who are working with us, right? All those warriors had come to support Duryodhana. Bhishmacharya took, this position because of his allegiance to Hastinapura, that throne that he was protecting. So those qualities are seen here. So he says, Madarthe tyakta jivitaha. They have come to lay down their lives for my sake. Nana shastra praharanaha. They are experts in different types of shastra. Shastra means something which is held with the hand and then fought. So for example, a sword is called shastra. A javelin, for example, is called astra because it is thrown. So shastra is not shastra, shastra. Shastra means Bhagavad Gita and Upanishad. Shastra means the weapon which is held in a hand and fought. Okay, whatever, the place where things are stored, right, is called alaya. Alaya means the place where things are kept. Vidyalaya means what? The place where Vidya is stored. That is called Vidya Alaya. Now, wherever Astras are stored, that will be called as Astra Alaya. And it is said that is where comes the word Australia. Astra Alaya became Australia. Astra Alaya, something like that. Just a pun, huh? Don't ask me for proof and everything. But I was thinking the other day, I had heard this from some Swamiji, that in Ramayana, when Bhagwan Rama prays to the ocean god, right, to come up and give them way to go to Lanka, at that time it is said ocean god did not appear in spite of Bhagwan Rama's prayer. And Bhagwan Rama finally takes an arrow and wants to dry up this entire ocean. But then ocean god appears and apologizes. And then she says, Varun Devata. So Varun Devata says, please forgive me. But Bhagwan Rama says, my arrow is now set. I cannot, once it is set on a target, it has to reach somewhere. So then it is said, Varun Devata said, Bhagwan, you can aim at that side. So that side is exactly the place where Australia is, It is said this arrow went and hit that ground. Anyway, let's not get caught up in Australia. We'll get to the next one. Sarve Yuddha Visharadaha. All of these people are great warriors, expert in war. Now, he is concluding this, our army, how great it is. Next two shlokas we will chant together, 10th and 11th. Aparyaptam tadasmakam, aparyaptam tadasmakam, balam bhishma bhirakshitam, balam bhishma bhirakshitam, paryaptam tvidame tesham, paryaptam tvidame tesham, balam bhima bhirakshitam, balam bhima bhirakshitam, ayaneshu cha sarveshu, ayaneshu cha sarveshu, yatha bhagam avasthitaah, yatha bhagam avasthitaah, bhishmameva bhirakshantu, bhishmameva bhirakshantu, bhavantah sarva eva hi, bhavantah sarva eva hi, aparyaptam tadasmakam, balam bhishma bhirakshitam, paryaptam tvidame tesham, balam bhima bhirakshitam, ayaneshu cha sarveshu, yatha bhagam avasthitaah, bhishmameva bhirakshantu, bhavantah sarva eva hi. Now this shloka number 10, is interpreted in two ways. So we will see the first way. Aparyaptam tadasmakam balam bhishma bhirakshitam. Paryaptam means parimitam. Parimitam means limited. Aparimitam means unlimited. Our strength is unlimited, he says. Aparyaptam. So paryaptam word, first meaning is parimitam. Parimitam means limited. Aparimitam means unlimited. So he says our strength, which is protected by Bhishma, our army which is protected by Bhishma, is unlimited. It has 11 Akshauhini Senas, whereas the Pandava army has only 7 Akshauhini Sena. Akshauhini means unit of an army. So they had 11, Kauravas had 11 and 7 on the side of Pandavas. So he says our army is very powerful and unlimited. It is sufficient and cannot be overwhelmed by these, Pandavas. But on the other side, Paryaptam Tvidame Tesham. Their army is limited. Paryaptam means parimitam. Paryaptam Tvidame Tesham balam bhima bhirakshitam. Now he doesn't say that Pandava army is protected by Drishtadyumna because he was the commander in chief. He remembers Bhima. His enmity amongst Pandavas was maximum towards Bhima. He was the one who annoyed Duryodhana the most. But here he says that Bhima, who is protecting the army of Pandavas, is very chanchala. Chanchala means fickle. He is easily provoked. And that quality is not considered to be a good quality of a leader. If somebody is leading or protecting a team or an army, that person should know how to not get provoked by the opposition. This is a strategy which is used even in courts. When they argue a case, it is said the lawyers who are arguing, one of the strategy is to provoke the other lawyer. And with that provocation, that person is, losing track of his arguments that has to be made. So Duryodhana is pointing out that our commander is Bhishma, and Bhishma's steadfastness was unexcelled. Means if Bhishma is planning something, he won't get affected by who is provoking, who is speaking. He is very, very firm on himself in his vow, and also when it comes to his actions outside. So he says their army is protected by this Bhima. You never know when he will suddenly lose his temper and suddenly start, doing something. And Bhima was known for that, losing temper at the drop of a hat. That is the first meaning. Now some commentators have interpreted it in other way. They have taken the meaning of the word aparyaptam means insufficient. If you take that meaning, what will be the first line? Asmakam balam bhishma bhirakshitam aparyaptam. Means our army, which is protected by Bhishma, is insufficient. Whereas their army, which is protected by Bhima, that is sufficient. It is very well capable. Paryaptam tvidametesham balam bhima bhirakshitam. If you take the second interpretation, what could be Duryodhana's mindset? He knows that Bhishmacharya has a soft corner for Pandavas. So that is why he's saying, although he's on our side, we cannot fully have this faith in Bhishma. Because he loves the Pandavas, and especially Arjuna, he loves the most. And second thing is, Duryodhana is also concerned that Pandavas are united. They don't have difference of opinion between themselves. Whereas we might have great warriors like Bhishma, Drona, everybody, but their heart is somewhere and they're fighting somewhere. So that dissension is there between all of us. So that is the second meaning. Okay, if you consider the meaning of the word paryaptam as limited, then aparyaptam will become unlimited. Okay, so did I say it correctly? So paryaptam means sufficient. Okay, that is the second meaning. Paryaptam means sufficient. Aparyaptam means not sufficient. So that is Duryodhana's mindset. He feels that our army, in spite of having Bhishma, Drona, is insufficient. Okay, that is the second meaning. And the first meaning is, if you take the meaning of the word paryaptam as parimitam, limited, aparimitam means unlimited. Means in one side he is feeling great about his army, another side he is not feeling so great about his army. Both meanings different commentators have given. So we should appreciate both. Okay, we don't have any harm taking one or the other. It is just way of thinking. Then now he has made Dronacharya happy by all his speech until this point. Now he is talking to Bhishma, who is the main commander, making Bhishma also happy. But he doesn't talk directly to Bhishma. He's telling everybody else. Ayaneshu cha sarveshu yatha bhagam avasthitaha. All of you stay in your positions whichever Vyuha positions you are there, don't move from there. Stay in your position, but you have only one task. And that task is to protect Bhishma. Bhishma mevabhirakshantu bhavantas sarva evahi. Don't, get distracted here and there. Make sure you are focused and let Bhishma focus on attacking. His defense should be taken care of by all of you. In sports also we have, right? One is attack and defense. So he says, let Bhishma focus on attacking. All of you take care of his defense. And Duryodhana also knows that Shikhandi should not come in front of Bhishma. So as though he's reminding, make sure that Shikhandi is kept away. Because Bhishma had taken a vow that he will not raise any weapon or fight against a woman. So he knew that Shikhandi was a female in her previous birth. That is why Duryodhana knew he will not fight against Shikhandi. So he is reminding all of them. Now, as Bhishma hears this, he blows his conch to acknowledge Duryodhana's words. Duryodhana has given Bhishma that kind of trust from this entire army. To acknowledge his words, Bhishma as though blew his conch. But what happened was, because he blew his conch, everyone else thought the war is declared now. It's going to start immediately. So the one who is attacking is the one who first blows the conch. Means it is the one which is declaring the war first. So although this war was between Pandavas and Kauravas, the first aggressor was from the side of Kauravas. That is how it was interpreted. Okay, so next 12th and 13th verse we will chant together. Tasya sanjanayan harasham, tasya sanjanayam harasham, kuru vruddhah pitamaha, kuru vruddhah pitamaha, simhanadam vinadyochaihi, simhanadam vinadyochaihi, shankham dadmau pratapavan, shankham dadmau pratapavan, tatas shankhascha bheryascha, tatas shankhascha bheryascha, panavanaka gomukhaha, panavanaka gomukhaha, sahasaivabhyahanyanta, sahasaivabhyahanyanta, sashabdastumulo bhavat, sashabdastumulo bhavat, tasya sanjanayan harasham, kuru vruddhah pitamaha, simhanadam vinadyochaihi, shankham dadmau pratapavan, tatas shankhascha bheryascha, panavanaka gomukhaha, sahasaivabhyahanyanta, sashabdastumulo bhavat. So on the side of Kauravas, to give delight to Duryodhana, Bhishmacharya blew the conch. Tasya sanjanayan, tasya Duryodhanasya, sanjanayan harsham kuru vruddha pitamaha. He was the veteran in the side of Kauravas. The one who has seen 3-4 generations. That was our Bhishmacharya. Kuru vruddha pitamaha. Simhanadam vinadyochaihi shankham dadmau pratapavan. Pratapavan means the majestic Bhishma blew his conch. And it was like roar of a lion, Simhanada. That was, Bhishma's power as a warrior also. He used to fight like a warrior. Did not get defeated even with Parshuramji, who was his own guru. He didn't win over him, but Parshuramji was not able to defeat Bhishma. Then he says, when they heard this, everybody else, they thought Bhishma is declaring the war. So everybody started playing their drums and everything. This generally we see in temples in India, and during Ganesh Chaturthi time especially, all these instruments are seen. What are they? Tata shankascha bheryascha. Shankha means conch. Bherya means kettle drums. The huge drums that are there, and they are carried on a chariot or something, or rollers. They cannot be lifted. They are that heavy. If you go to this palaces in Ajmer or in Jaipur, even now they have that huge drums. That was a way of announcing in the wars. So kettle drums. Bheryascha, Panavaha. Panavaha means tambourine. That's also one kind of an instrument which is played during this, whenever Aarti and Makara is done in temples, even now they play that. Anaka means trumpets. So we are seeing verse number 13, different musical instruments in the time of Mahabharata. Gomukhaha. Gomukhaha is a kind of an instrument which is in the form of a cow's horn. Only the form, it is made of something different, but the shape is like a horn. So that is the instrument. And these were the instruments that they used to communicate also. At that time, there was no mode of communication, right? You cannot text anybody or have some kind of a message going from here to there. And such a big battlefield, how would they communicate from one side to another? So that was done through these equipments or instruments, and some of them are listed here. Sahasaivaabhyahanyanta sashabdas tumulo bhavat. Everybody started playing it suddenly and simultaneously. Duryodhana might have, been caught by surprise. One person blew the conch, everybody started thinking that war has been declared now. Sashabdas tumulo bhavat. Tumulo bhavat means it became very noisy. That entire battlefield was filled with that noise. Tumultus, what we call, right? The word tumulaha means that. Tumultus. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but that is what it means. Now, from the side of Pandavas, response comes. Now, Kauravas have declared as though the war first by blowing the conch. Now you see the beautiful response from the side of Pandavas. Okay, 14 and 15 together we will chant. Tatashvetairhayair yukte mahatisyandane sthitau madhavah pandavaschaiva divyau shankhau pradadmatuhu panchajanyam hrushikeshah devadattam dhananjayah Poundram dadmau mahashankam bhimakarmavrukodaraha tatashvetairhayair yukte mahatisyandane sthitau madhavah pandavaschaiva divyau shankhau pradadmatuhu panchajanyam hrushikeshah devadattam dhananjayah poundram dadmau mahashankham bhimakarmavrukodaraha. Now on the side of Pandavas, the response comes. Tatashvetairhayair yukte mahatisyandane sthitau. In that chariot, which was yoked with the horses, which were white in color. Mahatisyandane means that chariot was one of the invincible chariots gifted by Agni Devata to Arjuna. It had everything in it. Sometimes when you see these aircrafts, right, like Air Force One and everything, you just see what all equipments are in that thing. It's just mind-boggling to see how many things can be there in one aircraft that you see as a mundane aircraft, But some special ones have lot many things in that. So it is said Divya Ratha, that chariot of Arjuna was something like that. It had everything, in terms of, I had heard from one Swamiji that It could even do diagnosis and cure if there is any kind of casualty during the war. That kind of facility was there in that ratha. But main point is, it was a great ratha, invincible, given by Agni Devata to Arjuna. But next line is beautiful. On the side of Kauravas, the one who blew the conch was their commander-in-chief, who is Bhishma. On the side of Pandavas, one who gives response is not Drishtadyumna, it is Bhagwan Krishna. Drishtadyumna is the commander of Pandavas, but he doesn't give response to Bhishma's, declaration of the war. The one who is blowing the conch from Pandava's side is Bhagwan Krishna. Madhava Pandavaschaiva Divyau Shankhau Pradadmatuhu. This is where Duryodhana went wrong. Duryodhana thought our army is protected by Bhishma, their army is protected by Bhima. Here Bhagwan is saying their army is protected by me. If anybody could have challenged Bhishma, it was only Bhagwan Krishna. Bhishma's stature was so great, anybody who could have responded to Bhishma's arrows, that was Bhagwan Krishna. And Bhagwan, in one place he says, when Pandavas have to go through all these hardships, right? They are cheated in that game of dice and they are made to go to forest. First time when Bhagwan Krishna meets Yudhishthira, he says, Yudhishthira, you consider this much for granted. Your enemies are my enemies. Anybody who wages a war with you, consider that they are waging a war with me. This was the strength with which Pandavas were fighting the war. And you see in Yudhishthira's strategies, each and every stage he makes sure he goes to Bhagwan Krishna and asks his opinion. Okay, that is what made the difference. So on the side of Pandavas, Bhagwan Krishna responds that we are also ready for this war. And they blew their divine conches. Divine means it is not made up of Pancha Mahabhuta. It is not something which has come out from an ocean. Conch generally comes out or is found in an ocean. Bhagwan's Shankha and Arjuna's conch, they are divya. They are not made up of material things. Madhava Pandavaschaiva Divyau Shankau Pradadmatuhu. Next line is, next 15th shloka. Panchajanyam Hrishikeshaha. Name of conch of Bhagwan Krishna. His name is Hrishikesha. Name of the conch is Panchajanya. Hrishikesha means one who is the controller of mind and sense organs. Rishikanam Ishaha Hrishikesha. And this quality of Bhagwan means he is our Antaryami. One who is sitting inside us and controlling our mind and intellect. As long as we surrender to Bhagwan and invoke dharmic qualities in us, those ones will be supported. This is what Pandavas are doing now. They are taking shelter in that Antaryami who is going to guide their mind and sense organs. Even if mind gets disturbed, like in the case of Arjuna, if Antaryami one has surrendered to, right guidance will come. But on the other side, one who has taken their attention away from this Antaryami and attention is only outside, for that person, it becomes more difficult. So Duryodhana is that other side. He says, I know, Bhagwan, you are Antaryami, but I don't want to listen to you. Antaryami, if you want to simply understand, conscience. Okay, everybody has that inside. What is right, what is not right. Only thing is, whom do we make victorious inside us? Panchajanyam Hrishikesham Devadattam Dhananjaya. Name of the conch of Arjuna, whose name is Dhananjaya, is Devadatta. Poundram Dadno Mahashankam Bhima Karma Vrukodaraha. Bhima also blew his conch, whose name was Poundra. Bhima's multiple name is Vrukodaraha. Vrukodara means one who has a belly like a wolf. Means he could eat so much, it was just, mind-boggling how much food Bhima could eat. So that got him his name, Vrukodaraha. So like this, 3 people they have counted now. Bhagwan Krishna, who responded, Arjuna and Bhima. Then other names are also there from 16th verse onwards. But the beauty of this verse is every name has been used for some reason. Of course, we are not going too much into details of why those names are there, but it just brings out the quality or the character, of that particular character. Character means Yudhishthira's character is brought out by that name. Okay. So we will pause here and take some questions. There are some announcements also. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Hari Om.